Alright guys, so close that so we don't hear any outside noise. So today's let's talk about it is going to be on the 2021 718 Boxster and Cayman. Um, I mean, what's there to say about it? I feel like it's the Porsche that's got the short end of the stick for the brand itself. Everyone calls it the poor man's 911. Which, I mean, yes, it's true. Usually the 911 start at like 90K. These are starting right at 60K, a little above. Um, but let's face it, the people who were saying it's the poor man's 911 are probably people driving a 2003 Ford Focus. They don't have much room to talk. They're driving a 03 Ford Focus. If you are a Focus owner, don't take this to heart. It's just a joke. I'm sure they have plenty of other cars too. Someone always has something to say about anything, whether it's Gucci, Louis, this, that. Why'd you buy this? Why don't you do this? It's like, just live your own life. If you like the 918 Caymans and Boxsters, buy them. More power to you. They're great cars. The Boxsters starting at $63,000, while the Cayman's starting at $61,000. And then I'll get into those price points. But looking at that price point itself, what are the closest competitors do they have? The Toyota Supra or BMW Z4 is a pretty close contender, just at that price point. As well as the new C8 Corvette, which is starting at $65,000, which is another close competitor. But once you start adding stuff into the Corvette, it'll go up there in price, just like any of the trim levels in both these 718 cars. I believe the Lexus RCF is a little bit of a competitor. Definitely probably on the heavier side. I haven't really looked into the Lexus RCF. I know it was like 471 horsepower few years ago, and I forget the weight and other specs that go to it. But I'll have some stuff listed right here and show pictures, maybe even some videos as well. But so the base, there's going to be a base, a T, a Sport, the GTS, which is going to be a new platform. I'll get into that for both the Boxster and the Cayman. And then there's the Spider for the Boxster. That's going to be a nice one as well. It's going to be up there in price. And then for the Cayman, we have the high tier, the GT4 RS, which is one of my favorites. I really want to add that to the collection one of these days once I get the ball rolling. So like, what's new with the 2021 model? They will be integrating the Apple Play within the dash, and just have it there for your disposal, for your music, for your apps, Waze, anything else that's in there now. I feel like all the applications now in 2020 are pretty much usable within the car itself. Another really cool feature that they're integrating into the new year for the 2021 918, or the not 918, I wish, 718 is going to be the adaptive headlights that turn while you steer. So they're going to turn the same way that you're steering, and it's just a really cool feature. I had it in my 2007 G35 X sedan. I really miss that car. Super cool platform as well. RIP to that BQ and the wallet met. Not my fault. But you heard me previously state too that there's going to be the GTS platform, which stands for Gran Turismo Sport. I'll include a picture right here. And this is a platform you've heard Maserati go by it. It's been around in Porsche forever. I think forever, since 1964, when they introduced the 904 GTS by Porsche themselves, obviously. But the true enthusiasts are always going to say go RS. I'm one of those enthusiasts. and I just think the RS has a better resale value, and that's why I say that. Just looking at the previous Cayman GT4 RS, that's still up there in price. I still see them in the 90s, and they could be lower now. I need to go look. But I mean, if the car's coming out at 101 MSRP and they're still going for 90, that's pretty good resale. I think, especially for a new car that usually loses a lot of value within the first year or two. But they only produce those cars for a few years, so it will be interesting to see how long they produce these new GT4 RSs and how their value will stick and how the value of the old Caymans will stay true. So each platform, the Cayman and the Boxster, is going to come standard with a 6-speed manual. You can opt for the 7-speed dual clutch, the PDK, which is insane. Just the reaction and the timing of it is just super nice. It's always been flowy, always one of the best out there for the dual clutch. But for performance for both the Boxster and the Cayman, there's going to be the power band's going to be starting at 300 horsepower, and that's going to be in the base 2.0 turbocharged flat 4. And then once you start upgrading, you'll see in the S models you get a 350 horsepower to the crank, 2.5 liter turbocharged flat 4 again for the and then once you start getting into the GTS, that's when you see that nice, the 4.0. It's a 394 horsepower turbocharged again, 4.0 flat 6, and I can't wait to see the performance of that thing on the track. There might already be some videos. I need to go look. I just wanted to get this let's talk about it out because I haven't done one in a while, and I really put everything on pause for this COVID and was hoping the COVID would just kind of pass over. A bird literally just hit my window. I was hoping the COVID would just pass right over and I could get back to things, but it's still here, and you know, I need to just start cranking out videos again and getting some views and getting my following up. And I don't know, I think having this talk too, it really helps me with my talking and speaking, because I don't always talk that much, and I feel like that's something I lack. But anyways, getting back to this, I really want to get behind the wheel too of one of these GTSs, because I haven't been behind the wheel of any GTS since 2015 when they came out with the 911 GTS, and I went to San Diego, the Porsche of San Diego, to look at one because I was looking at purchasing one and adding that to my fleet at the time with the job I held, and numbers just didn't work out in the finance office, and I wasn't for it, and the guys were kind of being a little bit of jerks. So I just picked up my money and left. Didn't leave with the car. It was a nicely spec'd one. They said it was basically new, but they used it for when the important clients would come into town, and they would let those clients use the Porsche, or those higher tier employees. So if you're watching this, Porsche, send me one of those GTSs for a day or two, maybe even a week. Let me rip it around the streets and track, and I'll give my full and honest opinion. No bias in there. But looking at the GT4 RS, this engine's going to generate a little bit more power than the GTS. It's going to be the same engine, the same 4.0 flat 6, but it's going to be cranking out 414 horsepower instead of that 394 horsepower, which, I mean, I'm sure you can get up to there just with the intake and tune, some simple stuff, but you're going to have the better resale value, I think, with the RS. It's going to hold the value. You're going to be able to sell it for more, and you're just going to get a ton more looks too at the car meets, obviously, from most likely dudes. Not trying to be sexist or anything, but when you get cool cars, you also get dudes that follow. There are, like, don't get me wrong, there are girls in the community, but like a perfect example is the GTR. Like, you buy a sports car, you think you're gonna be getting a lot of chicks with it, and then you end up getting a lot of dudes. So there's that. But if you ask me, like I said, GT4 RS all day for that resale value, for the name, for that enthusiast rush, just to say you have an RS. It's one of the purchases I'm looking at getting. I really want a 07 997 GT3 RS. I think those things are sick. Obviously, if I can find the unicorn, the 2011, I'll swoop up one of those. But right now, I'll be happy with the GT4 RS or that 996 GT3 RS. So the interiors seem pretty similar on both platforms, and not much having changed with the timeless design that Porsche has shown throughout the years. I'm a bigger guy. I'm at 250 pounds, so I fit into these interiors pretty well. Both the Boxster, the 2019, and the 2020 Cayman, I fit in both of those pretty fine, and they look pretty identical to the 2021. So Car and Driver give both the Cayman and the Boxster a 10 out of 10 rating, which is phenomenal. So I'm really going to have to get behind the wheels of one of these cars or both and give my full and honest opinion, review, and just diagnostic of the whole car, show you if it's good for everyday use. I've seen people saying it's the Cayman's one of the best priced supercars out there for the performance price ratio that you get from that platform, and that 4.0 boasting 414 horsepower. I want to say 415 for some reason. But be sure to subscribe, check out some more of my videos and projects that I have on my channel currently, and I'll have the Capron Funk video posting soon. I'm letting him release his video first because obviously he has a bigger platform and bigger following, so I don't want to ruin anything, posting anything too soon. Yeah, I'm sure it will be. It's a cool entry-level car for sure. Cool entry-level Porsche. Performance is there, looks are there, the timeless design. Would I personally buy one? Probably not, just because I think the mid-engine would just be a headache to work on. So I personally wouldn't do it. The 911 itself is already a bit difficult to work on, just because you have to take off the whole rear bumper just to do some new air filters. So that can be tedious. Imagine having to take apart even more panels just to do the mid-engine portion and maintenance on a car. I haven't really looked into the aftermarket portion of it. I'm sure there are intakes, turbo upgrades, and different things, but I feel like the 911 market's a little bit bigger than that. I like the 911 because for $35K you can get into a 996 turbo, and $100K you can get into a 996 GT3 RS. $150K you can get into the 991 GT3 RS. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just a textbook Porsche enthusiast who hails the RS, and then I also hail the turbo, just because that platform has so much potential. Few upgrades, you can have that turbo platform pushing 700, 800 horsepower, no problem. So I mean, if you ask me, is it worth it? Is it worth the buy? I mean, I have my preferences, you have your preferences. If you like the car, you like how it looks, you like how it performs, you like how it drives, you like this and that about it, go and get it. Don't listen to me. Don't stop doing your life and living your life the way you want to live it just because it's something I say. We have some bigger YouTubers coming in very soon to the shop to get some custom work, so that's going to be cool. I'm going to be documenting all that and doing a lot more of these talks and just getting a more well-rounded intelligence for the car industry itself and the cars that are coming out. Obviously this channel is going to focus a little bit more on Ferraris, Porsches, and JDMs because that's my true love in the automotive world. But I appreciate all cars, I love all builds, and I try not to hate on anything. But that's going to be my main focus on this channel, is the JDMs, Ferraris, and Porsches, because that's really all I want in my driveway. It's all I've ever loved when I was a kid, and And yeah, give this a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. More videos coming, weekly uploads. I'm going to be trying and shooting for 1 to 2 videos a week, if not more. Just depends how many talks I do, what we have in the shop, and everything. But I appreciate you guys if you watched to the very end. Thank you. I appreciate that. All the views matter to me. I'm slowly but surely getting more views. It's snowballing, so it's really awesome to see that. So stay tuned, more stuff coming, and stay classy, my big dogs.